Hello and welcome folks to another modern video. Today we're going to be trying out a little bit of an interesting brew that I introduced into the channel maybe like a couple of weeks ago, and I received some comments in chat, I guess not in chat, in the YouTube comments, discussing the possibility of building around Soul of Windgrace in a Jund Land style deck, but using Traverse the Elven World. And I thought that this idea was actually super interesting. We have access to Ursa Saga, which counts as land as enchantment, which we also have like a bunch of fetch lands. And if we add artifacts like Mishra's Bubble, not only do we have something to find off of our sagas in the mid to late game, but we also have a rather easy way to enable the Delirium for Traverse. Because the traverses themselves and the Thoughtseizes count as your sorceries. You also have access to ways to put creatures in your graveyard thanks to Fury. We also have Ren and instants like Unholy Heat and Terminate. So because of that, even though we're not playing something like DRC, because like my issue with building the deck like that was, well, but at that point maybe you're like a little bit too weak to graveyard, since like a bunch of your cards like Reclaimer or like Soul and Ren and 6, they're already trying to take advantage of your graveyard, right? So at that point, if your opponent plays a Rest in Peace, maybe you're like in a little bit of a rough spot. But that may not actually just be the case, because first of all, with the Traverse package, we actually have access to Fury and Endurance, which we can tutor for. These cards obviously don't use the graveyard. Soul of Windgrace also, it's a fine card without having access to the graveyard. Obviously, it's a lot better when you do have access to it, but it's not a card that you really need to have the graveyard for. And the same is true for Ragavan. So because of that, I think it's actually very reasonable to build a deck like this, and it's like it definitely in very early stages. Like, this is my very first rough draft of how I would want this deck to look. Maybe I should be playing more Souls, maybe like the Endurance and the Fury, particularly the Endurance. Maybe it's a little bit of overkill since I already have access to the main deck Nihil Spellbomb. Maybe I should not be doing it, but I wanted to see, it's me, right? Like, I like to have access to to toolboxes. So Traverse sort of acts like a little bit of a toolbox, and giving me access to Fury or Endurance seems very interesting. There's also the fact that we can Traverse for Ursa Saga or the one of Boseiju in the main deck, right? So there's actually multiple ways that we can get value from Traverse. But besides that, that's kind of the entirety of the deck. There's nothing else to it. Like, it's basically very similar to the previous version that I played on the YouTube channel. Obviously, we're not playing Titania, so we don't have access to Suran Orb, but I don't think that's going to be that big of an issue. We, in the sideboard, have access to Turak, more copies of Endurance. We actually have 2 of them, so 3 Endurances total. And Boseiju also adds to our Traverse package, even though the whole point here is that we want to be able to see Boseiju more often, right? We also have Thoughtseize and Graveyard Hate with Nihil Spellbomb, Engineered Explosives and Chalice. This is mostly because of the uptick in the Rhinos deck right now. Though Chalice is also fantastic versus Living End and whatnot. Veil of Summer and Terminate are a little bit of a nod to the scam decks. Like, those decks have actually become very popular, and I think they're quite strong. So having access to ways to protect from grief, and also be able to kill an early Fury that's going to be a 4/4. It makes things a little bit harder when you don't have Delirium active, right? And really puts you on the on the spot, right? Like, it gives you a very small amount of time for you to find the removal spell. Also, of course, killing Murktide Regent, still pretty important in the format. Same thing with Omnath. And finally, more extra copies of Nihil Spellbomb, which we can tutor for with Ursa Saga. I was considering taking it even further and like actually adding stuff like Piting Needle to the sideboard, particularly considering how good Yawgmoth is right now in the current metagame. And I don't know, like, it just felt like a little bit lackluster, so I just decided to still go a little bit all in. But yeah, Force of Vigor is the last card. Obviously great against Hammer, great against Amulet, decks like that. This is going to be the deck list that we're going to be playing in this Modern League. If you're enjoying the content, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you for round number 1. Okay, here we go. I mean, I think I probably have to keep this hand. Having 2 bubbles, I'm not super stoked about, but we do have access to some obviously Inquisition of Coastal X seems pretty solid here. We don't really have a threat until Soul of Windgrace shows up. Also, I should have bubbled first. That was just got too stuck talking. All right, so what are we playing against? Yeah, definitely would have loved to see, you know, what's on top of my deck before doing this, but it is what it is now. So I think I'm gonna take this Stoneforge Mystic. There's an argument for taking the Paladin instead. Of course, there's Stoneforge Mystic on top of the deck. Super punished by my sequencing, god damn it. Okay, so we draw a card on my opponent's upkeep. It's a blank. We're not particularly close to putting things together here, so this is not looking great. There's the Esper Sentinel and the Thopter. So just gonna crack this bubble right now. We got complete information. Cigar the Sade is what they take, is what they see on top. Yikes. So what are we looking for here? Some threat. Reclaimer probably. Removal spell would be good as well. That's a card. That is most certainly a card. Okay. So tapped Stomping Ground, say go. So opponent fetches here. I guess regardless of what they do, I'm probably gonna Fury next turn because I don't think I can afford to let my opponent tap. So we still know all of my opponent's cards in hand. I really need a removal spell. Instant speed preferably. So let's see what we draw. Traverse. So, a land here actually allows me to go fetch land, fetch shock, fury, kill this and this, and then allows me to attack with a Ragavan. Alternatively, however we slice it, this is just bad news for me. Just not finding any removal spell is kind of a big deal here. I don't think there's too much that I can do, so I guess I'm just gonna go for that. So let's find the basic forest. Then Fury pitching Soul of Windgrace. And we're gonna kill both of these. 1 damage at the Thopter, because why not? And I guess I'm just gonna traverse for Monkey and Dash Monkey. Actually yes. And the reason for this is because we're gonna take a chunk of damage this coming turn, but if my opponent goes all in, then what's gonna happen if we're gonna be able to traverse for Boseiju. So I think this could just be fine. And the reason to get this attack in is because I don't know what's gonna happen next turn. Like if my opponent draws another land, they can go Paladin into stuff. Alright, pass the turn. So I don't love the fact that we are just stuck casting this monkey every turn, but it is what it is. My best draw is Wrenn and 6. Yeah, so they're gonna go Cigar the Sade, and I wonder if my opponent's gonna just go for it in the face of removal. They're purposely not F6ing here. They're just gonna do it. All right. Imagine playing around stuff. All right. You got me. I don't have the removal spell. So we take 10 there. Yep. So traverse for Boseiju. Red, green. Let's play Wrenn and 6. And I can choose. I play my land already, so what I can do is I can play Monkey and hold up Boseiju, or just use Boseiju right now. They do have Steel Shaper Gift, but like it doesn't. Oh no, it does matter actually, because they can. So I guess I have to kill the Ornithopter. Yeah. So let's go. Do I dash monkey or... I think I actually just hard cast a monkey here. And I think I'm gonna kill the Thopter. So Ornithopter, blow it up. And then we're just gonna start plussing Renin 6. And I want to do this right now before my opponent can hold up Blacksmith's skill. We know their hand is Steel Shaper Gift Paladin. So next turn they can go Paladin plus... they actually can't move around the hammer, so never mind. Yeah, maybe this is just fine. Paladin's not doing too much here. And Monkey actually pressures them in a significant way. Giver of Runes. Okay. And what now? Steel Shaper's Gift. And this doesn't really do anything though. Now we just start looping Boseiju, so... And the goal here is going to be to just like blow up all the hammers. So basically we make the Pure Steel Paladins worthless. It's not great. I'm going to attack with the Monkey though. If opponent wants to block with the Giver, I'm kind of happy about that, I think. I'm not happy about drawing a Bloodstained Mire there though. I feel like I needed something better. Okay, so they did take it. Would love to find like anything I can cast here. Reality Cheap. Yeah, actually I'm gonna play this out. This gives me information. That's a Renin 6. Yeah, so I don't think Ren does anything, so I'm just gonna shuffle. And I guess we're gonna get Proving Ground. That's even worse. I think I'm just blowing up Hammer and then just buying back the Boseiju. It's actually kind of nice that we have access to a reality chip here. So opponent's gonna get to draw some cards because of Paladin plus Hammer. But next turn, if I do equip the chip onto the Monkey, we may be in business. So we blow up the Hammer, opponent finds the basic, and I'm just gonna get another Boseiju here. Also kind of wild how great is the fact that we have now creatures of 2 different colors, so the Giver can just get a free attack. So we know opponents does have a Colossus Hammer in hand, so if they play Paladin and then they Hammer, they're gonna be able to draw a card off of it. Wow, just got there. Sick, you love to see it. So let's bring in the rest of the Boseijus, Engineered Explosives, Terminate, Force Vigor, and that's it. Alright, my opponent is apparently off it. They're just like, alright. Yeah, the whole Renin 6 plus Boseiju thing was not something they found particularly appealing. So I guess we move on to the next match. Alright, second round. Sure, we can keep this hand. It's weird how our mana functions, and our disruption is removal based, it's not discard spell based, so I would definitely like to have a more generic kind of interaction suite right here, but Terminate is not the worst. Wooded Foothills. So that could be some form of rhinos. Oh, look at that. What am I doing here? I think I'm Thoughtseize on one, because they could have like a shock style effect to kill my Reclaimer. Oh, well, we're taking Ren. Yes, that was an easy decision, I think. And they do have Fire Eyes to get rid of Reclaimer. So Blood Crypt, play Renin 6. I'm ready. My body is ready. Okay, hopefully they ice here. Like, that would actually be great. Yeah, this is perfectly fine. Now we can go... We can play Reclaimer, or we can play out Monkey. I think I want to play out Reclaimer, because I think Monkey sets up Soul for next turn, because I can just dash it. And my opponent is going to be hard pressed to just... Yeah, they're kind of hard pressed to shock this Reclaimer right now. The problem is that they're going to be able to like shock plus make a treasure, which I can't really interact with unless I draw specifically. What's his name? Okay. Yeah, I would need to draw specifically Boseiju to interact with this treasure. I can interact with a creature, but... So... This means Delirium, which is nice. So let's get Blood Crypt here. Let's see what my opponent's gonna draw. Arid Mesa. Okay. So they're gonna have the fetch land. So if I play out Monkey, I guess I'm just gonna dash here. So the other option is to play out Monkey, but if I play out Monkey, then my opponent just knows to, like, I just cannot hold up Terminate, so they just know to just not do anything. So that gets rid of the Mesa, and now we just pass the turn. We just hope that my opponent does not find a land or a creature, or that I draw a Boseiju right here, which I didn't. At least we can terminate a dude. So that makes a dwarf, and here comes the creativity. Yeah, targeting the dwarf? Opponent, come on. Oh, they have Spell Pierce. Never mind. Like, this is fine. This actually makes sense. Yeah, of course they drew the Spell Pierce. All right. Yeah, that makes sense. So what are we doing here? I think we'll discard the Monkey. We have to draw another Terminate right now. That's not it. So I guess we just lose. Is there anything we can do here? No, there's nothing we can do. Okay, so Veil of Summer, Thoughtseize, Torak. These cards seem good. Terminate also seems good. Explosive seems fine. Don't like Fury, don't like Endurance. Don't think I want Bolt. Am I interested in Force of Vigor? Huh, Force of Vigor is actually kind of interesting here. I'm gonna leave in Denial Spell because they could be on Persist, but I don't want to have Endurances. I don't think. I'd much rather have access to Torak. Unholy Heat is fine. The question is, do I want Monkey or do I want Reclaimer? I think I'd rather have Monkey, which means I can cut 3 Reclaimers. Yeah, I think that's fine. Maybe Soul of Windgrace is not where I want to be. This hand seems like an absolute banger. We got removal, we got turn 2 Ren, we have turn 4 Torak on the play. This looks fantastic. We still don't know whether my opponent's playing the version with Leyline Binding or not. I'm assuming that we're going to find out soon enough. What I would definitely like to dodge is some of the other Leylines. Either Leyline of the Void or Leyline of Sanctity could be a problem for us with this hand. Okay, no Leylines. So let's get a Blood Crypt here. Inquisition U. Take Pierce. Wow, they kept this hand? That hand seems kind of garbage. Well, we're really hoping to not get Spell Pierced here. I'm gonna just shock here an Overgrown Tomb, because if I need to terminate, I don't have to take too much damage next turn. So playing with the Foothills there. That's a great draw. So let's play that. Let's Inquisition again. We can take the Fable now. They got a Veil of Summer. That would suck. But the thing is, like, if they use the Veil, yeah, I'm just gonna take Fable here. And let's get Proving Ground and plus. And my plan is to just like Torak next turn. Oh, actually I can't, because then so I'm gonna have to wait one more turn before I Torak. So otherwise my opponent, like if I discard both Archons or whatever, then my opponent just gets to untap and do their thing. So I'm gonna have to wait one more turn before I Torak. That is almost good. That's almost good. So let's get, I guess, load crypt here, and plus, and say go. Gonna have to wait one more turn. And next turn we actually have, I guess we have an option, right? Like we can either soul or we can Torak. I feel like we Torak. They don't play land. Interesting. Very interesting. That's pretty good. So I guess I'm just gonna plus here and say go. So if they haven't Fire and Ice or something, they're forced to use it here. We have 2 layers of interaction with the 2 removal spells. And we are ultimating Ren and 6, so opponent's kind of forced to go for it anyway. So let's just terminate right here. Actually, let's Unholy, because we don't have Delirium yet, right? So that covers that. Yeah, now Ren Ultimate just takes over. Cool, cool, cool. Game number 3. Am I interested in more Boseijus? Yeah, I kind of feel like Soul is not what I want to be doing. Like I already have these 4 drops over here, right? So let's bring in one more Boseiju and Lightning Bolt, another Reclaimer. Maybe Lightning Bolt is better than the Reclaimer. I'm actually not sure. Okay, so this hand looks strong. Keep it. Now the question is, do we monkey on one or do we Thoughtseize? I think Ren and 6 is problematic enough that I have to Thoughtseize on one. So even at the risk of Veil of Summer, I think it's just kind of really important to be able to pressure a Ren. Interesting. I think I'm just taking creativity here. And I guess I'm gonna play Ren. We play Ren. Then play Ren, which means that my opponent's gonna be stuck next turn playing the Late Unbinding. Then following turn, we monkey. Alternatively, we could dash monkey right here. What happens if we dash monkey? It just gets bolted. Yeah, it's just get an Overgrown Tomb. So this is gonna force my opponent to use their mana here on their following turn. And we get like a nice little 2-for-1. We get to hit our land drop. Next turn we're gonna play monkey but not dash it. Bloodstained Mire. So we did not know about that one. We did know about that one though. So there's the binding. Yeah, that's a blank piece of cardboard there. So let's play that out. And I'm just gonna... Oh, I wanted to dash. I think it was better to dash because he plays around my opponent having Ren and 6, but I mean, I guess misclick there. It ended up being the same thing, like they just decided to bolt. So get Steam Vents. Not super loving my spot here. We got no information about their hand, so we're just kind of hoping to draw something. It's most definitely not something. I think I want to dash monkey and see what happens. My opponent could just block here, but if they do, I think that's fine. The card that I really need to dodge is Ren and 6, right? Like if my opponent finds Ren and 6, we're just super screwed. All right, pass the turn one more time. Fable is very good for them because I'm probably going to be forced to kill that token now. So swing for 1. It is what it is. Untap. Good card. Traverse. So I guess we can actually enable that. Ugh, we're 1 mana short of Torak. That's brutal. That is so brutal. We're 1 mana short of Torak. So play land. Yeah. So let's do this. I guess I'm not gonna be able to do Torak things. I could dash a monkey, or I can get a Reclaimer. I could Boseiju, but Boseiju gives them a token, so I don't think that really does anything for me. I think I'm gonna go for a Reclaimer. So a little bit awkward because he just dies to a bolt. He just dies to Fire Ice even, but I guess I should have been playing my shock lands, my fetch lands before. Honestly, because I only had 2 copies of Reclaimer, I didn't play around that, but I definitely should have. We do have 2 cards in hand, so it's non-zero that my opponent may not go for it. Maybe they'll play around removal. Fable. Okay. That doesn't kill me, so at least that's good. And it looks like we're going to be able to untap with Reclaimer. Good. Okay, so let's play Saga. And we're going to say go. But this is very scary. I think we are in pretty bad shape here. Again, my opponent could mess it up and just like not play around removal. Seems very unlikely that they're going to now. They discard Ren. Guess they have 2 of them. Scalding Tarn. Okay. Block. And we're just gonna... I guess I'm gonna sack the Stomping Ground. And I'm just gonna find another Saga here. So that kills the Gobbo. Opponent 1 card left in hand. Are they gonna play around removal? Looks like they're not going to. Oh, I guess they're just gonna X equals 3. Kind of brutal that they found 2 creativities in the top 17 cards. Kind of brutal. Yeah, so I guess that I didn't count on the fact that they had the 3 targets here. I didn't account for the thing. Oh, Ashen Rider? Damn, son. Kind of love that. Alright, yeah, obviously I can't beat this, so. Obviously can't beat it. That was kind of sick, though. Yeah, I think this creativity deck is pretty messed up. I think it's extremely, extremely good. Yeah, I'm kind of impressed every time I play against it because it just has so many tools to help its consistency, and like this card is just messed up in this deck. I think this is just like straight up the best Ren 6 deck in the format. All right, see you in the next one. Okay, turn 1 Monkey and removal, and yeah, this is some good stuff. The only awkward thing about this hand is the fact that we actually cannot cast. Well, never mind. So I was gonna say we cannot cast the what's his name? Red 6 on turn 2. So we really want to dodge the removal goblin here. Also, I guess there's a lot of goblins that we gotta dodge here. Monkey does not line up particularly well against goblins. Rondevelt, Horde Master. That one we don't care that much about actually. So, we're gonna have to kill this one, so might as well do it now. Gonna see what they exile, which they can cast it. Mog Fanatic. Yikes. Well, Monkey, get your shot there, cause you're gonna be that next turn. Oh, they have another one here. Oh, Prospector. Oh, if they want to trade, this is great for me actually. Ooh, sweet, awesome. Guess I'm just gonna play a fetch land and pass the turn. They actually have to cast the goblin. They can't veil anything, which is nice. Okay, so we have 3 types in the graveyard. Snoop's gonna go, and Ringleader is kind of a big issue. But down to 2 cards in hand only. So here's the Proving Ground. Find Verdant Catacombs. Kind of annoying. Kind of annoying. So let's kill this now. And just play tapped land and say go. So we know they're drawing Ringleader, and then of the Ringleader they're gonna probably draw a couple of cards as well. Okay, there's the 4th land. Let's see what the Ringleader yields. The good thing is like Soul of Windrace is hopefully gonna stabilize here. Oh, they found Munitions Expert, so I guess maybe not. It's gonna help me ramp though, so it's probably still worth playing. Oh, come on, man. Ugh. This sucks. This really sucks. So any land and they get to kill Soul of Windgrace, which I'm not super stoked about. The good thing is that if I find... Maybe I can... Oh, I guess it can double up. Yeah, it can double up. So they can like deal 3 Munitions Expert and then sack Mog Fanatic. I think that's what they're gonna do. Okay, that's fine. Like that's a fine exchange. Like it's still a 2-for-1, right? They did get a 2-for-1 off of the Ringleader, but it still puts me technically even on cards. Let's see what this is. Another Ringleader is a little bit of a beating. And this one just draws 4 cards straight up. Oh, yeah, we're dead now. We are just dead now. We can draw Fury. And that's a blank. It does technically give me Delirium. So maybe that helps me do something. So let's draw Saga. I have nothing to pitch. I just lose to the Lieutenant, so I'm just not gonna show my opponent the deck. So I oddly enough think that Thoughtseize is gonna be pretty good versus them. Nile Spellbomb sucks. Terminate is probably a necessary evil. Fury is fantastic. Endurance doesn't do anything. Bolt's fine. Just got the monkeys here. And instead of monkeys, I'm gonna have, I guess, Thorax? Don't love that, but it kind of is what it is. I guess I'm gonna have 1 Endurance just because we don't really have any other good cards to bring in. Engineered Explosives is somewhat interesting. And my opponent could have Magus. But yeah, I think this is where I wanna be. The Thorax may be bad. Just wanna throw that out there. Keep this hand. We can go turn 1 Reclaimer. Unless they have Tarfire, I don't think they have a good way of interacting with this. And then turn 2 we can go. Hopefully we draw a fetch. Like if we draw a fetch, I think we're gonna be in really good shape. Turn 1 Vial. Ugh. So let's go Springleaf Drum and play Ren Plus. Next turn, we're going to be able to activate Reclaimer, discard and Boseiju to find a fetch land. And then we're going to be able to, I guess, Boseiju their Vial. Can we Boseiju the Vial? Maybe. Okay, so they got Snoop. Let's see what they reveal. Cavern of Souls. Okay, so fetch land is pretty good. So now we can go fetch for Blood Crypt, Shock. Let's Inquisition first. Huh, they had the combo. So we're gonna take Harbinger here, and then we're gonna take Sling Gang, I think. A little bit awkward that there's kind of nothing that we can do. So Munitions Expert, I guess. We just have to take Munitions Expert, because that would really suck. No, I think we're just gonna pass here. It's gonna delay my Fury turn by 1 turn, but I can now just sack Boseiju to Reclaimer and get a Saga. Okay, so they reveal Vial, which is less bad for me. They can attack Ren, which is fine, because we have perfect information. Like we know what their hand looks like. They have Cavern of Souls and these 4 cards. So I'm saving the Thoughtseize for next turn when I can take the Lieutenant. So end step, we're just gonna sack Boseiju and go get Saga. So this is the turn to do Munitions Expert things here. This is the spot. Yeah, so they go after the Reclaimer, which makes sense because it takes me off of mana. But here I can get Ursa Saga. Just gonna make some tokens, which is nice. We draw Traverse, which is pretty interesting. So let's plus on Boseiju, play Foothills, and Thoughtseize my opponent, taking Sling Gang. We're still trying to dodge here. Like if my opponent reveals Bogart Harbinger here, we are gonna be in trouble. But at least we can make a 2/2 blocker here. Blood Crypt is good. Appreciate the no luck suck opponent. I appreciate it. Second Vial doesn't do anything. And their last card in hand is Kiki Jiki, which they're going to be able to cast next turn. So I'm probably gonna have to. I'm gonna have to just hardcast this Fury to kill both of these. Otherwise, opponent's gonna be able to get some value. Go get Shadow Spear plus on Saga. Replay Saga. Here's a Fury. Kill these and play Bubble. We know they're drawing a Shockland, so let's just serve here. I'm just gonna crack Bubble on their end step. And we're gonna be able to traverse next turn, which is nice. So we're gonna place lands and shocks and just hardcast Kiki. Okay. We really want to dodge Ringleader here. Auntie's Hovel. Just a little bit flooded over there. Just a tiny bit flooded. So here's Foothills, play land, equip. Just casually jam for Gazillion. This is, I did the math, this is an actual Gazillion damage. And we pass the turn. We know they're drawing a blank, so they're just gonna untap and concede the game. This game looked a lot better than the previous one. Seems like when my opponent does not find a million ringleaders, then things go better for us. But yeah, we did see how good the discard spells were in this match, right? Like otherwise we would have literally been dead on turn 3. So definitely shout out to the removal spells over there. Do I want explosives? I still don't think I do. And I also don't think I want force. The Toroks are probably not very good either, but I don't think the other alternatives are that much better. So some removal, basically every single one of my Saga targets. Some removal on every single one of my Saga targets. Is that a keep? Opponent decides to keep 7. I think I'm keeping this on the draw actually. It's a little bit of a speculating hand. Damn, turn 1 Vial every single game. Yep, and now we lose. Whoopsies. That's a Ren and 6 though. So let's keep that on top. Oh, but now I can't cast it on 2. Whoops. Like I knew that I did not want to shuffle, but yeah. So I guess I needed to just not play the drum on 1. Hopefully that doesn't punish me. Basic Swamp. Alright, at least my opponent's on a multiple Vial hand, so interesting. Okay, so do I want to play around Magus is the question here. I guess I don't, because I can just kill it, right? Magus is like actively bad here, so I'm just gonna fetch for a dual land anyway. Opponent plays Cavern and plays Snoop. Okay. So I guess they're gonna get to drain me for free here. But I have to shock right here. Because if I don't shock here... oh, I get super... I just realized I get super blown out by the Lord. Okay, at least they didn't have it dodged. Yeah, that's devastating. So I probably lose now. I just drew too many bad cards. Unless my opponent's in the same spot that I am. Like if my opponent's also drawing poorly, maybe I can keep up. But if my opponent's drawing well, then I'm just gonna be dead. So there's Snoop. And I'm gonna get some Vial action going on there. Draw Sling Gang. Oh, they just have the combo. Okay, yeah. Yeah, so my keep was speculative and it just did not work out. Yeah, it would have been a little bit too many blanks. I still think that you probably like it was two interactive spells actually, and like yeah, I think it was fine. Maybe my mistake, because like this drum ended up not doing anything. So if I had been able to play Ren and 6 on turn 2, I would have been able to hold that Terminate on turn 3. So like that's where everything went poorly for me. So I just lost here, and rightfully so. I fucked up my sequencing and I was punished for it. So, all right, see you next round. Round number 4, opponent moves to 6. They reveal Jegantha. I think I keep this hand. We can go turn 1 Reclaimer, take it from there. We also have interaction. We have a Saga to get that online. Revealing Jegantha. Oh, it's that. It's just Prowess. So I think I'm playing Foothills on one, and I'm gonna fetch for Basic Forest to play Reclaimer. And the reason to do this is forces my opponent to interact with my dude as opposed to just developing their own board. And what's going on here? Manamorphose. So it's like an old school Prowess deck, huh? It's interesting. It's a DRC. Not sure how afraid of DRC I am right now. Main phase mutagenic growth. Okay. Do we just block here? Just gain 5? I'm effectively trading for mutagenic growth, right? So that seems fine. And now I can heat that and play that. Okay. Opponent's gonna bolt Reclaimer. Keeping cards on top though, it's kind of scary. But I'm taking only 1 point of damage there. Let's say it's pretty good. So I'm assuming that there's a land on top because they kept on top. Wait, what? So they kept on top, but then they discarded it. Weird. So let's play Saga and just say go. Windgrace is a pretty good draw, especially because this Holy Heat is gonna go to waste, which is nice. We have another light up the stage. We can steal their mountain. Take the Delirium. Okay. So that draw sucks. But I'm gonna play Windgrace here. I'm gonna steal the mountain. Actually think that stealing their land from Delirium matters a fair bit. Also, it's a way to like have a mana source that I don't need to take damage from. Manamorphose is pretty good. So this probably means that we can't block this turn. They just go face. So they kept on top, but then they milled it. Kind of confused. Jesus! Damn, must be nice. Am I just dead here if I take this? 3 plus 5 is 8, and they just mutagenic growth and kill me, so I guess I am actually dead, so I need to block. It's pretty disgusting. Pretty disgusting there. Okay, so now we get to stem the bleeding a little bit. We do get to stem the bleeding a little bit. And we're gonna have a couple of ways to do this. I think that what I'm supposed to do is get Shadow Spear here. Play Saga. We're gonna suit up that guy. And I'm just gonna bolt the DRC right now because I don't want to keep giving my opponent all of that card selection. So they play the land. Imagine they're gonna cycle Sunbaked Canyon. Oh, they just got their best possible draw. Sure. They just get the best possible top deck instead. So that's gonna make things a little bit harder. The good thing is my opponent's gonna need to do stuff main phase here. Okay, that's fine. So now I know that I don't have to block. I can... Oh, wait, what? Yeah, that's a terrible attack, opponent. So my opponent just lost the game right there. That was an extremely bad attack. And now we're going to be able to punish them pretty well. So make a construct, play another Saga, swing for 4, go up to 10. And now we're going to move the Shadow Spear to the dude that's blocking. Yeah, that was a really bad attack from my opponent. Hopefully we get to punish them. Looks like we do. Awesome. Love to see it. You do love to see it. Yeah. Sweet. That worked out. So we're playing against Mono Red. Here, actually, the Thoughtseizes are pretty bad. unlike versus the Goblins deck. Explosive sounds fantastic. Chalice is interesting. The problem with Chalice is that it hits all of our good cards. Like, this is not a good deck to be playing Chalice on one, you know? I'm kind of really off the monkeys, though. So I'm going to bring in Endurances. And I guess I'm going to bring in Boseiju. And then I'll Spellbomb. We do have some pretty good tools in this matchup, though. We do have some pretty good tools. And I don't think the Chalice is the way to go. Well, this looks good. I'm gonna keep this. Monastery Swift Spear. So I think I'm just gonna main phase Shock here. I'm gonna Bubble Trick myself. There's a terrible card on top. So I'm gonna wait. I guess they can instant speed Shock me. So I guess I'm not gonna do that. Oh no, never mind. I actually want to do this right now because I want to shuffle the card on top. So let's get rid of that. Pass the turn. That's actually quite funny. Like, we shuffled the basic forest and we drew we drew a basic lava dart. Okay. If they suck a land, they miss the instant. So like they are not really getting closer to Delirium there. So I guess that lava dart was just like 1 mana surveil one. Sure. Dart face. Well, all of that made no sense to me. I did not understand a single thing that just happened there. Let's get Overgrown Tomb, and I'm gonna fetch her basic forest right now, so I don't enable my opponent's thing. And I think I endurance right here. Actually, there's no need for me to endurance. I guess getting rid of the lava darts is a reason to endurance. So I guess, yeah, I guess I actually do want to do this right now. So that gets rid of 2 lava darts. Next turn we're going to be able to cast Soul of Windgrace, and we're probably going to lock this up. And I'm snap blocking here. If they want a mutagenic growth, that's fine. If they're just going to bolt this, like this is obviously really, really good for me. Get a nice little 2-for-1 there. So just going to cast Soul here. Get back a fetch land, pass the turn. And Soul should be enough to take over. Blood Moon doesn't really do anything. Okay. Interesting. So let's bubble myself. Let's see what we have on top. Boseiju. I guess Boseiju doesn't really do anything. So let's just plus there. Play land because we can. And swing. Get back Bloodstained Mire. I guess there was an argument to like not play the thing. Oh, I meant to fetch. My bad. I don't think it matters too much. So let's fetch here. Blood Crypt. Fetch again. Stomping Ground. I'm just taking kind of cards at random. Gonna discard a land card just to gain some life. Untap. Oh, we just get to traverse here. Let's just draw a card. We could traverse for what's his name, but I think this is better. Because now we can traverse for... We can traverse for Fury. We can traverse for Reclaimer. Now that I drew Endurance, I think I just want to chill on this Endurance, though. I can play it as a surprise blocker. Can also gain some life if we want to. And we have another Soul of Windgrace. So this game should be locked up. Block your dude. Alright. Sweet. See you for the last round. I don't remember exactly when this happened, but I feel like not long ago I recorded a video when I was on the play every single time. I feel like I'm paying my dues right now. And I've been on the draw. I don't know if every single round, but definitely most rounds. I'm going to keep this hand though. We can play Reclaimer on one, or we can interact, depending on what we feel like it's more important. Wild Nekado off of a breeding pool. That's how we know opponent means business. If we had been on the play though. I mean, we have to kill this right now, because otherwise it's going to grow next turn. So this is going to be Stomping Ground. We actually can cast Renin 6 next turn, which is pretty sexy. We just go Springleaf Drum. Oh, never mind, we can't. We're one short. My bad. I don't know how to count. Green source? Red source? Neither. Okay. Here's a Springleaf Drum. Here's a Reclaimer. And that's it. That's all I got. There's actually an argument for traversing for a green source right here to guarantee that I can rend next turn. And I'm getting a green source as opposed to a red source because I have endurance. But if my opponent bolts this, then I can't cast rend next turn, and that would be an absolute disaster. So I'm just gonna get a basic forest. Storm now? Okay, deal. Deal. So opponent's definitely playing Delirium. Domain, sorry. And they're lacking white mana so far. We are... If they kill this, we have Delirium ourselves, which is nice. That means Unholy Heat is going to be online, so even if I don't draw anything, they can kill any threat that they can play. So that's pretty nice. Tribal Flames my Reclaimer. Fetch land. Easy. So let's get Overgrown Tomb here. Red or green. Plus on Verdant Catacombs. Pass the turn. One trick with Springleaf Drum, which is very sweet, is that you can evoke Endurance by pitching a green card, and then while it's in play, you can tap it to Springleaf Drum to add mana. It has not come up yet, but that is the kind of tricks that I love being aware of, because when it does happen, you really do feel like $1,000,000. Ursa Saga. So, Precision you. Let's see what we got over there. What you cooking with, opponent? Am I just taking the fairy here just because I don't care about the monkey at all? I think so. Dashed monkey. Ooh, ooh, baby. Oh, this is hot. Oh, this is hot. Too hot, I would even say. Let's get a Blood Crypt here. Here's Surprise, baby. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, yeah. Let me see if I can find this.
Surprise, motherfucker.
There we go. Too good. Too good not to do. Too good not to do. So now you get to start swinging in. Ooh, that's so much better. So we're gonna traverse for Soul. Actually, is it better to just traverse for Saga? I don't think I want to traverse for Reclaimer, but... Because the problem is if I traverse for Soul, I actually think it's better to traverse for Saga. As odd as that may sound. Traversing for Reclaimer is like the highest upside play, but the problem with traversing for Reclaimer is if my opponent has a removal spell, we just achieve nothing, and Reclaimer is currently a 2/3. We only have 2 lands, so it's only a 1/2. Dashed Monkey, opponent tries again. And I will say no again. Best draw is probably Lord Windgrace. Guess I want to hold on to the land. The reason to hold on to the land is because if I do find Lord Windgrace, Soul of Windgrace, like whatever, then like I have all the mana that I could want, and I actually have cards that reward me for holding cards in hand. So here's a construct. I wonder how many lands opponent's playing in their deck. Bolt my construct. You got a chief. That's not a great draw. Another reason for not playing and cracking my fetch land. Let's get Shadow Spear. Let's get this game over with. We have a blocker for another Dashed Monkey, so there's no reason for me to crack this bubble just yet. I'm gonna crack it on my opponent's end step. Alright, opponent finally finds their thing. And I guess they can Teferi and minus on... Okay, so they're just holding on to... They're holding on to Leyline Binding here. Dashed Monkey. That actually is not terrible, so I'm gonna keep it. So let's get our Monkey, and then Holy Heat. So because of... I'm gonna move the Shadow Spear over to the Construct, so if my opponent does want to reduce the most amount of damage, they have to exile the card that actually they get the most value from exiling with Teferi. From bouncing with Teferi is what I meant. They still take the Endurance. So they go to 1. Exciting Temple Garden. Alright. So if they tap out for the fairy, they just lose to the Dash Monkey that they know about. So we're chilling here. We're chilling. I think they're just locked. Because they have the basic planes in play. So like they just can't. Unless they're playing Solitude, which seems impossible. Then they just had no outs there. Okay, so Thorax seems okay. Explosive seems pretty good. I don't think I'm super into Thoughtseize. I like Inquisition though. Don't like Chalice. I think Terminate is good. Fury is fine. Soul is fine. Thorax fine. I guess Boseiju is kind of nice. So maybe I can cut the Snow-Covered Forest. Because Boseiju answers ley lines. They have Stub, but I don't think that's enough to bring in Veil of Summer. I think I'm going to cut a couple of monkeys on the draw. And just kind of get ready to play a longer game. I don't love Nile Spellbound, but they may be playing Ren and 6. And having just a single copy could be fine. And not only that, but also just having... I think that the game is likely to go long. And if that's the case, then I'd rather have access to as many Saga targets as I can. Okay, so early interaction, early Ren and 6. Sand's got it all. Early threats, late game threats. Hands a banger. So interesting spot here. Do I want to play out the Reclaimer? Or would I rather just like play a fetch land slash... I think I want to play out the Reclaimer, so if they have removal... Like, if they have Tribal Flames and they want to kill it, they have to kill it now. So I think I'm going to play it out. So the argument is that my opponent can bolt this now, and then untap and dash a monkey or something like that, and I get punished because of bolt. But my opponent is a deck that's trying to... Exactly. They're trying to play lands tapped on turn 1, which means that we actually have a little bit of an opening to... make their mana awkward. Like if they want to kill Reclaimer now, they have to use their mana right now. So this could be a Draco, which is Kavu. It's worse for us than Draco. 5/5 is really big. So I guess the only thing that we can do with that is hope to trade with Soul, or I guess Unholy Heat. But Fury doesn't tackle it. So I'm gonna take a big hit from it. So I'm gonna play Ren and 6, sort of a diversion here. Maybe my opponent will attack the Ren, and hitting one more land drop is actually quite important for us. I can also just like chomp block with Reclaimer if I feel like taking 5 is too much. But my idea is that my opponent plays something else, and then I can like double up on Bolt plus Fury. I don't know what they could play. So they're coming after Ren. They discard and draw. I think Ren's gonna take it. So Engineer Explosives is good. I wonder if they... So if they have Teferi and they minus on Reclaimer, then we actually... So now we actually do get to double down. Yeah, okay. So now we can do 2/2 plus Bolt. I need to pitch Soul, but it is what it is. That's a terrible draw. Absolutely heinous draw. But I guess it is what it is. So here's Fury. Man, this puts so much pressure on me. Kinda brutal. There's no way you have subtlety, opponent. Come on. Who are you trying to trick? Okay, so that's like not a great exchange by any means, but it's not the absolute worst exchange either. Because like they did get to draw a card and they did get a little bit of value here. We do have Delirium though, for what's worth. So if my opponent deploys another Kavu and we actually find Unholy Heat, then we can deal with the Kavu in a pretty clean way. Also, we do have the Endurance that cleans up versus what's his name? Which is nice. Ooh, versus Nakatl too. That's not Kavu mana. I like that. That is Kavu mana. That is not Kavu mana. Alright, sweet. Awesome. So I guess that we actually get an interesting option here, because we can just block if they don't kill the Reclaimer right now. And then that means that I get to fetch an Ursa Saga. So that's kind of sweet. This weight right here suggests that my opponent has like Leyland Binding or something. And if they do, yes, right now is the time to use it. Very, very much so. Actually, I think our best draw right here would be Torak. Torak would be a 4-3 that my opponent can't counter. It's going to be a 3-4-1. And also cannot get Binding. Yeah, this is a good decision by my opponent. They should have done that. Alright. Bobble myself. Engineered Explosives. I think that's actually a fine draw. Obviously, I'm not going to be able to Explosives away this Leyline Binding, but let's see if they have another one. Surprise again. Did they get you this time? So they can have another Leyline Binding here. Well, I guess it's happened again.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Yep. It's happened again. Endurance claims another victim. Yep. Sweet. Okay, so what am I trying to draw here? My best draw would be probably something like Lord Windgrace. Torak would be fine. Terminate is okay. I think I want to attack, even though my opponent showed me Dashed Monkey. I think that clocking them is going to be important. And I'm going to play that. I don't know, maybe they have Stubborn now or whatever. Terminate is nice though. But yeah, definitely putting a clock on them seems important. I'm not going to fetch here though, because of cards like Mishra's Bubble and whatnot. That kind of sucks, but it is what it is. Passing the turn once again. Boseiju would be a nice draw. Traverse would be sick. Traverse would be super sick. That's a Draco. I wonder if they kept the Stubborn Elves. Looks like they did. Okay. Nothing to do there. Like, it's better for me to make sure that I use my mana when I can, right? Jesus. That is a lot of lands that don't do anything. Again, like Boseiju would kill this, kill that. Even is something mopey like a Shadow Spear would be fine here, because it would allow me it will have the endurance to raise the Draco very easily. Show a Brawler. So I think I'm actually going to be using my mana here, so I'm going to fetch this time around. Let's hope. Did I find something good? Removal spell, Ren and 6. I don't think Ren does anything. So what I do get to do is to kill this, for what's worth. So we crack this. Now we play Ren. Opponent could have Stubborn Nile for sure. But I'm gonna be chomp blocking here regardless. Is there a reason to hold on to a land? Just Windgrace. So I guess we just chill here. And like chomp blocking does not seem great, but I don't really care about protecting the Ren. It's more so that I don't want to be dead to a Lightning Bolt, right? Leyland Binding. Okay. So I guess if they have it, they have it. Yeah, I mean, the story of this game is obviously that, you know, we flooded a little bit. We flooded on not the cards that you only flooded in. I would be okay flooding in, like, threats at this point in the game. They have the Tribal Flames, yeah. Yeah, so that would have been fine, Okay, game 3. I think the Boseijus are, like, they're just good. Like, they are just actively good. Maybe over Fetch Land and Monkey. Definitely not sure on the Monkey, but yeah. Endurance seems fine as a one-off. Like, I don't think I want more copies of this card. So, like, it obviously worked out really well in both of those matches, right? Like, we ambushed Monkey and we ambushed the Cat. But it's gonna be trading with my opponent's 2-drops or chump blocking them. And like, I'm not super stoked about that. Like, that doesn't seem like to do enough. Maybe it is better than Monkey, though. Like, Monkey is just lines up so badly. The thing about Monkey is, like, if I have it on turn 1 on the play, like this, Like, it just threatens to do so much. So you only need one monkey, you know? Just have it in your opener, and then just, like, go to town. Easy game, easy life. So now my opponent's gonna be, like, in a little bit of an awkward spot where they want to fetch for a dual land so they can play a powerful 2-drop on turn 2, but that means that I get to connect with monkey. Temple Garden Shock. So I guess we're just gonna trade with Nakatl. Unless we find a shock here. We did not, but I think I'm kind of okay making this trade here. The reason being, like, this is gonna grow next turn. So, like, I'd rather, and I actually don't have a removal for it anyway. So I think it's fine. Here's Reclaimer. Here's Spellbomb. And I guess that I want to pass the turn because I may draw one of my Inquisitions. So I'd rather know the top card of my opponent's deck than knowing the card that they're going to draw right now. And I'm tapped out, so I'm not going to be using my mana anyways, right? Opponent plays Arid Mesa. Let's see what they play here. Garden Steam Vents. So that's only 4. But they do kill the Reclaimer. Lots of respect on the Reclaimer from opponent. So opponent's drawing Stubby D. Good to know about that one, that's for sure. Lightning Bolt and Holy Heat. So let's cycle here. Shadow Spear, okay. So we're just gonna traverse for a Black Source. Just play Shadow Spear and say go. We're not drawing well here, but if we do get to find a land drop off the top, we can kick Turak, and that should be pretty solid. Nice little 3-for-1, and then we can suit it up with Shadow Spear. It cannot get hit by what's his name? Cannot get hit by Leyline Mining. Also, we have not found a fetch land. It's a little bit unfortunate. But the reason why I got the basic swamp there, so even if I find Ursa Saga or basic mountain, like, it doesn't matter. Like, I can still play Kick Turak. Even Boseiju. Like, I think I would play out the Boseiju here. Opponent finds Stomping Ground here. I wonder if this is the Fairy. If it's the Fairy, I probably would have to bolt it. And the reason for that, well, I did not see that one coming. Did not see that one coming. Well, now at least we do have Delirium, right? I most definitely did not see that one coming, I tell you. Let me tell you. Jesus. Okay. I mean, such a weird thing to be doing versus a Wrenn and 6 deck. Do I want to get a fetch land here? It makes Reclaimer a much better draw, I guess. Alternatively, I can get Saga. Maybe that's why my opponent brought in Molten Rains, because of Saga. So do I want to have a removal, or do I want to have... Yeah, I think I just need my mana. Just need my mana to be online. They do have Stubby D, so I have to watch out for that. So when I try to list, like a Delirium list, I was playing Snapcaster. I very much hope that my opponent is not playing Snapcasters in their deck right now. Because I think if they Molten Rain me one more time, I'm going to be in really bad shape. Ugh. So we're going to upkeep and Holy Heat, I guess. So they have to use blue mana for the turn. Well, this Turak most definitely did not work out, huh? Let's get a Blood Crypt here. Attempt to hit that thing. It's probably not going to work out, and we're dead to Troubled Flames now. Man, those Molten Rains, jeez, I was not expecting those. Also, like, it's a very weird choice against a Wrenn and 6 deck. Like, it's a very, very weird choice against a Wrenn and 6 deck. But obviously it lined up well here. Like, if you expect that you're going to have the Molten Rain for the lands and the Stubborn Denial for the Wrenn and 6, obviously, like, the plan seems pretty sound, but not sure if that's actually going to work out every time. So what do I want to draw? I guess Basic Mountain. It's kind of my best draw because it allows me to cast Soul. I mean, probably another Unholy Heat or Terminate is my best draw, though. Like, I have to deal with this. Territorial Kabu. But I'm out of time. Like, I need to kill this now. And for the record, I do think this deck is actually quite good. I do think that the Domain Zoo deck is finally good. Like, they really tried to make this a thing with Modern Horizons, and it wasn't enough. But I think Leyline Binding did actually make it good enough. Like, I think that this is just a perfectly fine... It's just a good deck. Yeah. Oh, really? You tank 5 minutes and you have the Tribal Flames too? Oh, you Shovel Roller. Okay. Well, that kills me. Right on time, dude. Where were you like 5 turns ago? Use Blood Crypt. Play that. Shock. Bolt your thing. And Concede. Alright. Alright, so time to wrap this league up. It was weird. Like, this league was kind of weird. We started really well. And I thought that deck was really showing its worth. And then I feel like the wheels started to fall off a little bit. I think that the concept of the deck is pretty solid. And this list, even though it's going a little bit less big than the previous version of the deck that I tried, I feel like this list is a lot more streamlined, like it's a lot cleaner. So I do like this better than the other version of the deck that I played on this very channel. It does not feel like this deck list is there though. I feel like we're missing something. The Traverse thing was okay. Like, I wasn't particularly impressed by it. I was more impressed by like Reclaimer, like how it could, like, it basically just it demanded an answer immediately, because just for turn from turn 1, like it kind of threatens to take over the game just by itself, which is very, very cool. Like, that's why I really like this card. Even in a format like Modern, like, people have to respect this card, because if they don't, like, it just has the ability of just soloing you, and like, God forbid you have a Ren 6 as well, and then you just got this little pair going on and just takes over completely. But I do feel like the concept is nice. Delirium was not free to make happen though. Like, that is something that I felt throughout this league. Maybe we're supposed to be playing some more discard spells. I think that could be a way to go about things. Just playing some extra copies of discard spells could help with the making Delirium a little bit easier. Bubbles helped a lot, but I don't think we can really afford to play the full 4 copies. So we're just kind of in this weird limbo. Also, like, you have the Saga issue, right? Like, you have the Saga deck issue, which is you have all of these random cards that are pretty bad by themselves, particularly when you draw like Nile Spellbomb. Like, we drew Nile Spellbomb like Shadow Spear versus the Sue deck, and they just sat there doing nothing because our opponent just had a bunch of removals. So basically, like, we missed 2 draw steps there. Sure, like, we did get to cycle the Spellbomb, but like, that was effectively a time walk, right? Like, it's not, even though Spellbomb does cycle, the tempo that you lose while doing so kind of matters, particularly where you're trying to play like a bunch of 1 and 2 mana spells, right? But you do have like a little bit of an issue that all the Saga decks have, which is the fact that you have to play a bunch of lands, because otherwise, like, you need to be casting your colored spells, but you also want to be using your mana to activate Saga, so you have to play a bunch of lands, but you can't have all of your lands be value lands. Like, these are value lands. Like, this is not really a value land, this is like just mana fixing that you just fetch whenever it's convenient. But like, it just never happens. You're cycling your Ciatora's Proving Ground, like, unless you're really, really winning or something like that. But like, this card is not really a value card like Boseiju is. But you also want to be playing like a bunch of fetch lands, so your mana base is like pulled in all of these different directions, and you're also playing like a bunch of lands because you kind of have to, because you need to be able to cast your spells on curve. But at the same time, you're in a spot where like you want to be, like, you just run out of stuff to do. Soul Windrace did help with that. So whenever we did draw the Soul, it was actually pretty solid. Like, whenever we did get to cast it, I feel like it gave us so much more breathing room. Like, we cast Soul of Windrace, and all of a sudden, blah, like, we have all of this mana. Like, we can do all the stuff that we want to be doing. We can be activating like multiple Sagas every single turn. Like, this card was fantastic every time that I cast it. But you know, maybe the whole Traverse thing is not even worth doing, and I should just be playing more copies of Solo Windgrace at that point, you know? So like, while doing that, like, I unclunk my deck a little bit. So this could be like another Solo Windgrace, this could be another Fury, and like this could be another discard spell, and all of a sudden my deck is a little bit cleaner. Also, Unholy Heat was not online every single time. It was online most of the time that I wanted it to, but it was not online every single time. So that's also a little bit of a concern, because if you're playing Unholy Heat, you're playing it because you want to be deal 6 damage, not because you want to be playing Shock, right? But yeah, also this sideboard kind of sucked. I do think that we need Turak, but maybe I overboarded it a little bit. Like it should not have come in against the Su deck. It felt like it was, you know, better than Ragavan, and maybe it would have been just worse than Endurance. Like Endurance just lined up well against some of the threats, while lined up poorly versus other of them. I don't know. Like it, obviously with more experience and more time to play the matchups and like just more repetition, like figuring out what works and what doesn't, obviously my decisions would have been better. I mean, I don't think that's that's a secret for anybody, right? But this deck felt it felt nice though. Like I'm kind of digging the idea of like a Jund Saga style deck that has some Soul of Windgrace top end. Like this card actually does feel like a pretty good top end for this style of deck, so I may continue messing around with this. But that's gonna be it for this week though. Thank you so much for watching. If you're interested on supporting the channel, you can do something as simple as hitting the like and subscribe button or leaving a comment down below. Or if you would like to actually really support the channel, you can do so through Patreon. You can do so through just making donations. All the information is in the description of the video down below. And finally, by booking coaching with me. So you can find all of you want over there. And thank you for checking it out. See you in the next one. Take care and bye-bye.